Welcome to another revolting video.
Do you like collecting? Then please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click on the like button because it does something very special. It makes you younger. This is a 17th century London token that was produced in the aftermath of the English Civil War, over 350 years old, more than a century before the American War of Independence started. Tokens are really magical objects in my opinion. At first glance they look no different to monetary coins, and in most instances the boundaries between the two are somewhat blurred, and a lot of the tokens were circulated and used alongside coins, simple coins. However, the main thing that distinguishes tokens from everyday coins is that they were produced by private companies and individual merchants and traders in the 17th century. These tokens give us a window to peer into the lives of ordinary people from the time. In this case, 1653. Wow, this token was produced just a few years before the Fire of London and the foundation of the London Stock Exchange, one of the first stock markets in the world at the dawn of modern commerce. Not only did 17th century merchants effectively mint their own money, they could also advertise their businesses on the tokens, on an object that will pass through thousands of people's hands, like modern day coinage. This was a form of viral marketing that predates YouTube viral videos by centuries. Merchants would have their business signs stamped on their tokens, and a larger version of the signs would appear on billboards erected outside their premises, and are an early example of the use of business branding. So you can imagine these signs appearing outside taverns, trades and shops in 17th century London. Now remember, there was no formal numbering of buildings in those days, and many alleys and side streets were unnamed, so these early signs became essential landmarks in 17th century London. In fact, you can see these historic signs today on good old English pubs and inns, many of which haven't changed much since the 17th century. In fact, deviating slightly, Whitbread issued a number of cards devoted to these fascinating inn signs. They're very collectible in their own right, and some fetch high prices. And also, I will be reviewing some rare examples in future videos, so keep your eyes peeled. And anyway, coming back to the signs. So, the business sign on this particular token features a woman churning milk. You can just about make her out. Okay, the rules on spelling seem to be more forgiving in the 17th century, as most words on tokens are spelt how they sound, phonetically. Hence, the inscription stating Deary Maid instead of Deary Maid. Don't forget, in those days, a large portion of the population were illiterate, and education wasn't up to the standards that it is today. Anyway, this creative spelling reminds me a bit of modern day text messaging. I'm guessing that the issuer owned a dairy, but it's not quite as straightforward as you think. As I said, because these signs are important as landmarks to customers, quite often when a trader moved into a vacated premises, they might keep the sign even if the picture on the sign bore no relationship to their trade. This may also explain the strange array of different subjects on old pub signs that we see today. Of course, this can make the job of identifying the trade of the token issuer very confusing, as you can imagine. This particular token gives the initials of the issuer, WW, and the S corresponds to the first name of his wife. Tokens also give the location of the issuer's premises, in this particular case, St. Katharines. Although, as you can imagine, it's not spelt the way you'd expect it to be spelt, unless you're used to 17th century tokens. In fact, it looks nothing like St. Katharines. But luckily, I found out through the Tower Hamlets numismatists website that basically this token was issued in the borough of Tower Hamlets. So that was convenient, thanks to the person that created that website. So these tokens were coins and business cards rolled into one. I don't think it is any coincidence that some of the first ever business cards were actually printed in the 17th century, but they were known as traders' cards. Now, these early cards were the precursors to trading cards and cigarette cards of the 19th and 20th century, many of which I've reviewed in my other videos, so don't forget to check those out as well. You're probably asking why companies don't mint their own tokens today so much. You see, tokens are normally produced in extreme circumstances such as conflict, especially civil wars such as the American Civil War. In fact, I have an example of an American Civil War token that I'll be reviewing soonish. And this particular token was issued in the aftermath of the English Civil War. The Industrial Revolution also provided ideal conditions for tokens to flourish. The mass migration of agricultural workers into industrial jobs put a massive strain on the availability of low denomination coinage. Tokens give us clear example of how the free market can come to the rescue when centrally controlled monetary systems collapse. This particular token was issued in 1653, like I said, in the aftermath of the English Civil War. For many centuries, only the monarch was allowed to issue money, and anyone violating this law could be put to death, and hence not many tokens were issued during that period. However, since Oliver Cromwell removed the king, King Charles I, after the English Civil War, this rule no longer applied. Since there was no risk of execution and the long war resulted in a heck of a shortage of coins, token production really took off then during the 17th century amongst many of the merchants. Okay, thanks for checking out my video. I hope you found it interesting. Ciao for now. If you'd like to find out more about this particular item or other such items, please feel free to pop by my website at creamofcards.com.
Oh no, I'm afraid we've run out of time. But just before you go, please leave thumbs up below, and if you'd like to see more amazing video clips like this,
subscribe to the channel
by clicking on the icon up in the sky.
A Cream of Cards TV.